All right, brother, here's the logic, and I can send you the piece on this. The numbers aren't exact to the piece, but annuity companies and only annuity companies are able to do this because of the longevity credits. But let's say in this example, we have a 63-year-old with $100,000. $100,000. Let's say 2 years from now, that person wants to retire. She's in her stock and bond portfolio, and she says, hey, I don't want to talk about any of this annuity stuff. I just want to stick with my stock and bond portfolio. Okay, well, you ask the question, and I do this in every seminar, every client meeting where we're talking about GLWBs. And it's what do you expect your $100,000 to do then between now and 2 years from now when you turn age 65, when you want to retire. And what's a not too conservative, not too aggressive rate of return in, say, a stock and bond portfolio? You know, they usually come back with, 5%, some will say 6%, some will say 2%, but usually what I go off of is 5%. So that means, not including compounding, between now and 2 years from now, that your $100,000 will go in a stock and bond account to 110 in this example. And I already know what a lot of folks are thinking. Well, but it can go a heck of a lot higher than that. I'll get to that here in a bit. But okay, so at retirement, when you have your $110,000, what needs to happen at that point in time? You need to draw that down. You need to start taking retirement income, right? So what do the pundits say? You should take no more than out from that $110,000. Well, back in 1994, there was a gentleman named William Bingen, who said no more than 4%. Now that has been updated, right? The 4% rule has been updated. Today, the pundits say, Wade Pfau, as well as a bunch of other retirement income experts, say it's more like 2.3%. Well, let's just be generous to the scenario. Let's say 4%. So that means $4,400 your first year of retirement. But that's assuming that this happens, the 100,000 goes to 110,000. That's assuming that 4% is sustainable, right? And she doesn't run out of money in, say, the 28th, 29th year. But of course, by that time, it's too late for any of us to say we told you so, right? So that's two big assumptions there. What happens if that 100,000 goes to 800,000? 800,000 times 100,000 goes to 80,000, right? Well, that means she would be getting at retirement more than a 25% pay cut. A couple of big ifs there. What if I told you, this is what I tell the clients, what if I told you that no ifs, ands, or buts, your $100,000 is going to go to, from an income standpoint, is going to go to, say, $114,000. $114,000 from an income standpoint. Then at that point in time, no ifs, ands, or buts, no maybe, possibly 4%, maybe, possibly 3%, maybe, possibly 2.3% withdrawal rates. No, none of the maybe, possibly. There's a insurance company that will guarantee, say, a payout factor of 5% for the rest of the life. No ifs, ands, or buts, even after that hits zero, should it hit zero. What do we have here then? Well, what we have here is, what is that? That's $5,700. I use the example of $1 million a lot, so sometimes I get this mixed up where I'm using $57,000 as income, but for the average Joe Schmo, $100,000. You don't want to use $1 million as your example, but that's $5,700, absolutely guaranteed. No $4,400, no $3,200, absolutely guaranteed. $5,700. Now back to, well, but that $100,000 can go a lot higher than our 110. So maybe you're just being overly, maybe you're being disparaging to the stock and bond cause. Okay, well then, at $5,700 in my example, the question is in order for that stock and bond portfolio of $100,000 to generate $5,700 in income 2 years from now, the question is, and that is based off of the 0.04, the 4% withdrawal factor, in order for that 100,000 based off the 4% withdrawal factor, because this is what it comes down to, right? The 5% versus the 4%. The question is our stock and bond portfolio, if the client's bullish, well, then the question is how high does that stock and bond portfolio have to go to equal the same payment that we are guaranteeing on the annuity side? And the answer to that question is, if I remember right, if you take 5,700 and divide that by 0.04%, which is the inverse math, if I remember right, it's $142,500. So that means The stock and bond portfolio on the bottom, in order to generate the same amount of income as what we're guaranteeing from an annuity standpoint, that $100,000 has to grow over 2 years by $42,500. If you look at the compound average growth rate, that is like 20% per year in this example. And by the way, although that's a hypothetical payout factor as well as roll-up rate, that is actually a real product. What the product is, I can talk with you about, but that's just one sample. But the point is yeah, 20% per year is what's required from that portfolio to generate the same amount that insurance companies are guaranteeing, at least on this product. Why is that? How is that? How do insurance companies do that? It seems too good to be true, right? It's not too good to be true. It's the same reason that mortality, right? You buy a life insurance policy today, you get hit by a bus tomorrow, and what happens? The insurance company pays multiples of what you put in. That's mortality credits. Well, this is longevity credits, and only insurance companies can do that. I don't believe the power of GLWBs is fully recognized by consumers unless they know about these rules of thumb and the comparison of those rules of thumb to what it is that annuities offer today. I hope that makes sense. Again, I have the material for you that I can send you, but in the meantime, draw out that chart for the client. They'll get it.